Hello, and welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm your host, Steven, and I'm joined today by Anthony.
Hey, everyone!
And we are here to talk about Nintendo's E3 for 2021 because we know it's going to be nice and juicy.
Well, I guess we don't know that. We have reason to believe it will be.
We have reason to believe to know that it's nice and juicy. And anyway, so here's how it's going to work. So we're going to have an E3 prediction video right here. We're going to have a little scoreboard. We have 8 predictions that are worth 2 points each. And then we're going to have 2 out there predictions that if we get right are worth 5 points. And then after E3, we'll get together and go over what we thought about the E3 presentation, what we thought about our scores, how well we did. And yeah.
Okay, well, so I have to preface this first of all by saying that, some of these are kind of hopeful things. There's as much a chance, I think, of them not appearing as that they do appear. But anyway, they're just things that, we've had enough rumors about that I'm hopeful we'll hear something official at E3 because it's kind of the most sensible time of the year to do it. Anyway, with that caveat in mind, so I'll start with my normal predictions, as we call them. So my number one here is I'm kind of hoping we're going to hear some more Breath of the Wild 2 news. It's been in development basically since the shortly after the original launched. So they've had at least 4 years now, and they've been reusing assets and engines, and so I would expect that, we'll hopefully have something close to a final product, something that you can at least give information on, maybe a release date, some footage for. It kind of seems like they've had enough time to give us at least that much. Now, there were reports saying that of all the games that Nintendo's been working on, Breath of the Wild 2 was most impacted by the quarantine. So maybe that means that it's much more behind than we hope. And so, I guess there's a part of me that won't be terribly surprised, especially based on Anuma's latest statements in the most recent Nintendo Direct, that maybe they just they're still not ready to say anything, which would make me sad because that's the big one for me. But for
both of us, really.
That would be the front runner for me for E3. So fingers crossed on that one.
Okay, so my number one is we are going to get a new 2D Metroid for Switch or a port of Samus Returns to the Nintendo Switch by Mercury Steam. Because the rumor is they've been working on a new 2D Metroid for a while now, and they did fantastic with Samus Returns, and I still want a port of that on the Switch. Not sure if that's even going to happen, but we have heard rumors for a while now of a new 2D Metroid, and I think E3 is the time to drop the announcement and hopefully a release date, because we're so thirsty for Metroid right now. Give us some Metroid, please. So that was my prediction number one. Do you have anything to add there, Anth?
Well, I guess that.
No.
What?
What was that?
I was just going to say, I'm actually looking at some articles here, because I remember seeing one in particular. Oh, come on. Anyway, I was going to say, so the 2D Metroid announcement was kind of my number 4 prediction from the normal category. From what I recall, there was a report by a fairly prominent leaker. So this was the quote from Zippo. He says, but yes, a new 2D game from Mercury Steam 200% exists and is in fact done. All Nintendo needs to do at this point is announce it. Nintendo, and by extension Sakamoto, internally is extremely happy with how the title turned out. Love to hear that. The only other thing I've heard recently is that the game is running at a very smooth 60 frames per second. My hard read / prediction is an announcement at their E3 Direct next month.
You heard it here first. 2 points.
Well,
my pocket.
Steve, you're always calling out the scores. You're going to jinx it. Anyway, sounds like we have some pretty good reason to believe. I mean, I haven't paid a ton of attention to Zippo's track record, but I've heard some good things. Sounds like there were some big things they called out. So they're pretty confident and convinced, and I'm ready for it. I'm honestly hoping it's a new title. I wouldn't mind a port of Metroid: Samus Returns, but I do not want it to be in place of a new 2D Metroid. So,
No.
fingers crossed. I'll take what I can get though, because I am very much a Metroid fan, and I'm sad that it's gotten basically no love other than Metroid Prime 4, which we have heard nothing about. So
Nothing.
that's fun.
Kathy, go ahead with your number 2.
Yeah, well, actually, I think I'll skip to my number 3 because what we
sweet.
just talked about was an excellent segue for it. So
Perfect.
I am hoping that we will get another Metroid Prime 4 development update. So, I mean, it's probably still nowhere near release. I definitely don't think this year. I mean, I'd love that if it's ready, but I'm guessing probably at the soonest 2022 release date. But you know, they restarted development January 2019, wasn't it? So chances are it could go into 2023, 2024 even. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's been long enough by now that I'm hoping at least we can get some sort of update as to where they're at, because even nothing more than just to say we're definitely still working on this. Here's where we're at. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but I guess part of my reason for hoping for that, aside from the amount of time they've had to maybe at least kind of put something more solid together and get to a point where they can say, yep, this still exists, it's not canceled, whatever. The other thing that makes me hopeful is that it's Metroid's 35th anniversary. Now, yes, It's also Zelda's 35th anniversary, and it's most likely going to steal the spotlight, just because of how much more popular it is. But it doesn't change the fact that that Metroid deserves to be celebrated on its 35th, and so I would love to even just have a little blurb, even if it's nothing more than another flaming number 4 floating in space. Just saying, hey, we're still here.
New animation, Nintendo. You gotta at least go out of your way to make a new animation.
just something to tell us that we still have reason to hope that it's getting the AAA treatment, and that we can have a few more nuggets of information. So that's where I stand with that. Fingers crossed.
And on that note, I'm going to my number 2. My number 2 is Metroid Prime Trilogy HD port to Switch. I know it's Zelda's 35th, and it's also Metroid's 35th, and we've had a lot more Zelda than Metroid lately in recent years. So I'm just hungry for more Metroid. Give me Metroid, please. I know we heard the recent developer say that making a port of the Metroid Prime Trilogy HD to Switch would actually be very difficult. But he's a former employee, and we've heard more rumors of the positive than the negative on this thing. We've heard it's been ready for a long time, and Nintendo's waiting to drop it. I know those are just rumors, but man, I really want to play Metroid Prime Trilogy on my Switch wherever I go. So I'm really got my fingers crossed hard that this thing's real, and that they will announce it at E3 this year. I know I've been on my predictions list for years now. If you've been watching our channel, like, now's the time. Well, guess what? Now's the time.
Oh, do we need to give you negative points for all the times you've said it's now's the time?
maybe we should. Yeah, maybe.
So that takes me to my number 5. We just keep on playing off each other here.
That's okay. I like it.
So I'll just jump over to my number 5. So I kind of have this in a question mark, whether or not they're going to confirm or deconfirm Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Switch. One thing I was going to say. No, you stop that. I'm not putting my eggs in either basket at this point. But I mean that dev does have a good point. It would be difficult, but this is the first time we've heard something to that effect, and there have been a lot of, albeit just rumors, that it is coming. So at this point, I could see it going either direction. Nintendo is mum about everything though, so at this point, I'm not expecting it, but one negative report isn't enough to completely remove my hopes that it could be a thing. And once again, Metroid 35th. Let's not have it be a lame celebration if we can.
Or non-existent Nintendo.
Non-existent, right? Yep. I mean,
done it before.
Again, Metroid doesn't sell nearly as well as Zelda, which is sad. I mean, I like Zelda better, but it's. I mean, I think Metroid deserves a lot more attention and love than it's getting, and I think that the original response to Nintendo's original announcement of Metroid Prime 4, I think, shows that there is definitely an audience for it.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that means they'll take note and do something more than it seems like they tend to do for the series. So I guess that's a long way for me to say I'm still somewhat hopeful that Metroid Prime Trilogy could exist on the Switch. But I guess we'll see. At the same time, though, I won't be surprised if they don't say anything at all about it at E3. So this is one of my more hopeful ones.
Number 3, going back to what Anthony was saying about Zippo and his infamous E3 leak / confidence on what's going to be at E3. He was talking about a new Donkey Kong. Now, we haven't had a new Donkey Kong in a long time. Since Tropical Freeze, and then we had a port of that to the Switch a couple of years later. It's been a long time. I don't know exactly how many years, but it's been a while. So that actually makes sense to me. The fact that he's so confident that it's going to be here and that it's being developed by the Mario Odyssey team leads me to believe that it's going to be new. Obviously, he said it's not a Donkey Kong Country title, and it's not a sequel to Tropical Freeze. It's going to be something brand new, which excites me because maybe I'm weird, but I haven't really played the Donkey Kong Country Return titles that much. I loved how faithful they were to the originals, and I love the Donkey Kong Country games on the SNES. But I'm ready for something new with Donkey Kong, and this is kind of exciting news for me. So I'd love to see it. I want to see what Nintendo Mario Odyssey team can do with this, and I hope it's real. So I'm putting it as my number 3.
The fact that it's the Mario Odyssey team that's developing it is a good sign.
Agreed.
I'll say that.
Zippo's not sure if it's a 2D or 3D title. That's another thing. It could be 3D. Another return to 3D Donkey Kong, which there's a lot of mixed opinions about. Because the only 3D Donkey Kong we got was Donkey Kong 64, and there's a lot of mixed feelings about that game. But I remember having positive experiences with that game back in the day when Anthony and I were playing it. So that'd be sweet. I'd like to see an ambitious Donkey Kong title.
Yeah, that one was not on my list, but I would be excited to get another one. I feel like I might be in a similar boat to you. I did play the Donkey Kong Country Returns games, but somehow they just didn't feel quite as magical as the originals to me. So I wouldn't mind seeing, and maybe having a 3D Donkey Kong game if they did it right, which, I mean, Mario Odyssey team, they know how to make 3D platforming games really well, obviously. So
Mario Odyssey is the best 3D Mario game ever. Okay, good.
Yep, I agree. If they were able to give Donkey Kong that level of polish and that kind of new coat of paint kind of thing, then I'd be all over it. So, I'd be for it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm gonna, I guess, continue in my out of order approach here because I've decided that my number 2 might, at this point, make sense closer to the end of our normal predictions here. So, my next one would be, I'm kind of hoping they'll give us an update on the development for the recently announced Splatoon 3. Because that was kind of out of nowhere, and maybe it's still too early to say much, but it's looking like they're going to take a little bit more of a narrative-driven kind of world-building approach. But that kind of has me excited. I mean, I've enjoyed Splatoon so far. I'm not as into it as some people. Steven's now frowning at me because
you do.
But I enjoyed it. And the idea that maybe they'd be taking, like I said, a little bit more of a narrative-driven world-building approach, which so far has been kind of in the background, kind of has me excited. And so I want to know more.
That makes me jump to my number 7.
Oh, now I've done it to you.
Splatoon 3. I've been a big fan of Splatoon since the first title. It's been one of my favorite shooters. And I agree with Anthony. The fact that it looks like it's more narrative driven excites me. The spoilers for Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 if you haven't played them. Splatoon 1's final boss was hilariously fun. Even though and both for Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, their stories are very simplistic. But the final boss in Splatoon 1 had me laughing hysterically, and I had so much fun beating him. But Splatoon 2's final boss was nowhere near as good, needless to say. However, and also the other story was okay. But the DLC for Splatoon 2, the Octo expansion, that story was the best that Splatoon has ever been. And if they're going to top that in Splatoon 3's narrative, I am excited. And I want to see more. So E3 is the place, guys. I know it's a next year title. That's what they already showed us. But I want to see more. And I am thirsty for more ink.
Yeah, that was actually pretty clever, Steve. At this point, the fact that they've so far said it's a next year title means that maybe it's still kind of early in development to show a whole lot, but all they showed was really kind of a teaser before, and it seems like there's enough there that maybe they could give us a bit more of a trailer level kind of announcement. So I have my fingers crossed, and it sounds like this might kick my butt into actually playing the Octo expansion at some point, because I haven't even gotten it yet. So okay. So I guess the next one I'll jump to that's kind of a smaller one, but is also part of the rumors. This might have even come from Zippo, was, and I guess I'm cheating here by having two together. I was running out of ideas. But, it sounds like we might have a chance of seeing something about Mario Kart 9, which could be cool. I mean, I'm not the biggest Mario Kart fan, but I can enjoy it now and then with friends, and I'm kind of hoping that they'll have a way to, kind of refresh the series a little bit. I mean, Mario Kart, obviously, it's one of Nintendo's most popular tentpole franchises. I mean, it's still, I think, at this point, the best-selling entry on Switch, much to Steven's sadness and chagrin.
Why'd you have to rub that in?
Just for the fun of it? I don't know. Because you're a punk to me all the time. And just kidding. This is all in good fun, people. Just so you know, we needle each other all the time. Yep. Anyway, but I remember thinking when they announced Mario Kart 8 that kind of the anti-grab thing that they added seemed like a fun kind of way to shake up the formula. And it's been fun, but it wasn't as much of a change as I kind of hoped it would be to start. And, it's just like a different way to drive. And so I don't know what they could do, but I'm kind of hopeful that they'll do something to revive the franchise a little bit. I know some people who felt like Mario Kart 8 was actually kind of a step down. My sister, for example, thinks that Mario Kart kind of hit its pinnacle with Mario Kart Wii and then fell from there. I wouldn't mind if they found a way to retool some of the traditional item usage characteristics in the game. So my general experience with Mario Kart is, I'd like to think I'm a decent player. I'm nowhere near like online player levels. I'll say that right now. So I spend a lot of time kind of in first through third place, but my frustration is that usually what that means is you are just driving. There's not really anything exciting to do. The items you get are usually pretty lame, and usually you just put them behind your butt so you can block red shells or stuff like that. And then, of course, blue shells are your bane, and they usually come just a little bit before the finish line on the final lap, and that's just always super frustrating to me. So I don't know if that's even something you can fix. This is a racing game after all. But if they found some way to refresh and retool the item usage, or I don't know, just get rid of the stupid blue shell or rebalance it somehow. Rebalance it somehow. That would be kind of exciting for me. But maybe I'm not the right audience, because obviously the way Mario Kart currently exists is very beloved by a lot of people. So maybe I just need to get in line. I don't know.
Because Mario Kart 9 is my number 5.
Oh, all right.
Mario Kart 9. So it's about time. That's all I gotta say. We've been on Mario Kart 8 for years, two console generations so far. Please give me a new one. I've played the crap out of the first one. I played even more out of the crap of the Switch ports. I achieved everything in that game in the Switch port. I did all the races, all the cups, got 3 stars and everything. I love it. I love Mario Kart. Give me more. I'd love to see some new mechanics in Mario Kart 9. Similar to Anthony, I loved the anti-gravity stuff. That was super fun. Give me some more of that. Give me some more out there new gameplay mechanics. Maybe shake up the Mario Kart formula a little bit, like Anthony was saying. Get rid of the blue shell and throw some new items at us that we haven't seen before. Maybe even get rid of all the old items and throw us nothing but new stuff. That'd be great. Just give me some more Mario Kart. I'd love it. Maybe even I know this makes some people happy, but I know Mario Kart Double Dash has been beloved by a lot of Mario Kart fans, and they still, to this day, think that is the best. So why not give us some Mario Kart 9 / Double Dash 2 or something of that for me? You know, just give us something new with Mario Kart. I want to see something brand, new items, new everything, new races. I still like how they bring back the old races from the old games, so I still want to see that. But yeah, give us something new, and I want to see it.
I was actually just looking over some of the reports on the Zippo leak, and it turns out there's some other things that I probably want to talk about as well.
Are you cheating and throwing things in there last second?
Well, yes.
Gosh dang it.
Well, I'd already cheated by making this a 2-fer, so now it's a 3-fer. I heard that there might be rumors of a new Kirby game, and it might be 2D and it might be 3D. And then, that sounds familiar. That sounds similar to what they were saying about Donkey Kong. So maybe I just made something up in my head. But
it was there.
It was there. Okay. Well, at any rate, I mean, Kirby is definitely not the biggest franchise in the world, but I do remember loving Superstar and how fun it was to play multiplayer back in the day. So I'm always curious to see what they have next. If it's 3D, that could be really interesting if they do it right. I was going to add this, though, because I saw this on the Zippo leak, and that kind of got me excited. It sounds like there might be some Fire Emblem news. And I happen to be a Fire Emblem fan, at least, what's the word I'm looking for? Hardcore is maybe some, but, I enjoyed my time with Three Houses. So if there's more, then I'm excited to hear about it. I don't have anything more to say than that, but it was on the list, and I was like, oh, I definitely have to talk about that, because I'm definitely an RPG fan, and that counts. So I guess these last two are my really big ones. Zelda's 35th anniversary news. We need to hear something. Because there's been enough rumors that Nintendo would be remiss if they don't tell us something solid about how they plan to celebrate at E3. So, we've heard a lot of things about, ports coming to the Switch, like I think it was Majora's Mask. Wasn't Ocarina of Time on there? Or am I making that up? I thought it was. Some others that might come, and hopefully maybe some new stuff too. I wouldn't mind another 2D top-down Zelda to be announced alongside, to kind of build up excitement for while we're waiting for Breath of the Wild 2, whenever that happens. I'd love to be surprised with something more than just a port, because, I'll take them if they're coming to the Switch, but, my backlog is so terrible that I don't know when I'll get to them. But give me a new one and we'll go straight to the top of my queue. So anyway, there's a lot we need to hear about how they're going to celebrate Zelda's 35th, and I think that they kind of have to talk about it at E3. So that's my next one. I'm excited to hear more.
Zelda's 35th, can't forget about that. So, Wind Waker HD coming to Switch and Twilight Princess HD coming to Switch. That's just a no-brainer. Easy money. Already done the work. Maybe you just got to make a few small adjustments because we don't have a touch screen. And please, I'd love to play Wind Waker on the go. And then the other one is Yoshi's Woolly World, because to this day, I believe it is the best Yoshi game ever created. You can fight me. It is super creative, and the levels are ridiculously hard, especially if you're a collector. When you unlock the special levels, they are absolutely ridiculous. And it is just way, way fun. And all the amiibos, okay? All the amiibos work in this game and give you a different a different design. All your Smash Bros. Amiibo. Everything finally has another purpose, and it's awesome. So I'd love to see that come to Switch. It looks beautiful on the Wii U. Terrible on the 3DS. Why was that even a thing? but bring it over to the Switch and give it true 1080p, 60 frames a second, and just please give it to me. I need it. And I think that exhausts my 8 predictions. Ant, have you got any more?
Is it? I do have one more, although I was going to comment on that. I was going to say I think that it would be nice for them to bring that one over. I didn't actually ever get to play it, but I was not super impressed with Yoshi's Crafted World. That game has like 3 songs in its entire OST. With you saying how good Woolly World was, I'd be interested to actually play it sometime. So I think from what I remember, Steve, this was my next normal one was one of your out there ones. So
here it goes.
Switch Pro. They gotta say something. They really do, because I'm sorry, there have been too many. It's not even. Most of it are still rumors, but there are things we've seen that I have been able to confirm that push it beyond rumor territory. First of all, that FCC filing, that's kind of a big deal. Now the latest from, I don't remember who it was, but there was an investors call for the people who are going to be making the screens, and they call it out specifically in the call. This is basically all that's left for them to do is actually make it official, because it's basically already unofficially official already.
There you go. Artificially official. I like it.
I am, it's honestly going to be more surprising to me if they say, no, guys, it really doesn't exist. I am going to be absolutely shocked if that turns out to be the thing. It just seems like there's too much to basically prove that it exists. So now, at this point, what I want is Nintendo, please tell us something official about this stupid thing, okay? It has to exist. Nintendo just needs to tell us something about it. They need to give us something, even if it's just, it exists, we're not going to tell you anything else. I'll take that, as long as they finally confirm its existence officially. But if they don't do it at E3, then I don't know what they're smoking. But
agreed. That would be a big miss. So that's my out there prediction. That's my number 10.
So Steven is apparently, being a little bit of a naysayer if he's putting it as an out there.
Well, I'm pretty dang sure it's happening. I want more points for it.
Hey, wait a minute. You're working the system, you cheater. I put my out theirs as actually legitimate out theirs.
But
you are cheating.
It's also out there because we don't know when Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is launching, but my official prediction is Breath of the Wild 2 is launching with the Switch Pro in March 2022. Okay. Early next year. So that's
the rumors have.
That's the entire prediction. So if I get the Switch Pro right and not the Breath of the Wild 2 thing, then they'll be worth 2 points. But if I get them both together, it's 5. But yeah, I think that makes the most sense to me. Breath of the Wild 2, like Anthony was talking about earlier, it got delayed. Probably, it's been affected by COVID-19 the worst. So a delay would. Well, it's not even a delay. They didn't even announce the release date. So who knows? It won't be this year. I was hoping it'd be this December. It's not looking that way. But it would be really cool if it did the same thing Breath of the Wild did, where it opened not a new console generation, I guess, in this case, but it would launch with a new system to showcase the power of the new console. And what better game? Breath of the Wild 2. And I'd love to see it. Love to see it.
Agreed. And I will say that based on the rumors we've heard about how, because I've heard that from multiple places. Again, all we have to work on is rumors, so you have to take all of this with a grain of salt. But I've heard multiple rumors suggesting that it would release with the Switch Pro to showcase, as Steven said, the capabilities of the Switch Pro, or whatever it will be ultimately called. So my thought is, if, as Zippo indicated, there's chances that we will hear something about Zelda. If we get a trailer and it turns out, hey, this game is going to take advantage of the Switch Pro's rumored 4K capabilities, then how can you show 4K footage of Breath of the Wild 2 and not tell us about the Switch Pro? It just seems it's just simple logic to me that if there's going to be something about Zelda, then unless it turns out that it really is just going to be a vanilla Switch title, which would be disappointing. If it really is going to be showcasing the power of the Switch Pro, then they have to talk about the Switch Pro. Or it's just
they do.
Duh. Anyway,
that's why it's such a good out there prediction.
Out there, sure. See if you point figure.
Okay, but here's the out there prediction. Here's the one. Number 9. My number 9. XCloud is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I've been saying it for a long time, but I think it's happening this time because of all the recent, Phil Spencer is historically known to like give you little Easter eggs of announcements they're gonna make in the future behind him while he's doing video conferences or interviews or whatever. He's done it with the Xbox Series S, and no one caught it until he had to actually point it out himself. Hey, did you guys notice the Xbox Series S behind me in this interview? We're like, what? And there's been a Nintendo Switch behind him for a long time now, and we also know that Microsoft and Nintendo have been buddy-buddy for a little while, and they're getting to be even closer buddy-buddy recently. And if they're just going to port over an Xbox game to the Switch, I don't know if they would put a Switch behind Phil Spencer unless something big was coming to that system from Xbox that's not necessarily just a game. So I am saying again, the xCloud service is coming to the Switch. They want their Xbox ecosystem to be able to be played on whatever console, whatever handheld, whatever devices you own already. They don't necessarily need you to have an Xbox anymore. They just want you to have an Xbox subscription and be able to play wherever, however you want. And I love that. I love that marketing scheme that they're doing, and I want to support Xbox. I think that's an awesome thing to do. And they're just too close now. It's too close. And I know that I think it was the president of Nintendo came out and said that they would not have any other games from other companies on their hardware, but it's still like, it's got to be big. It's gonna happen.
I mean, the rumors are intensifying. So, and you've been saying this one for a long time. So I think I'll grant you this one isn't out there, but it's looking like it's less out there than it used to be. So,
but I've been saying it long enough that it still counts.
That's what I was saying. Yes. I can't call you a point digger on this one because you've been saying it for a long time. Yeah. All right. So, my out there predictions, when Stephen asked me to think of some, these ones probably are truly out there. My out there prediction is that they're finally going to acknowledge that Joy-Con drift is a problem, and they're going to do something to fix it. It's so out there that I don't even know if it's going to happen, but it needs to, because they've been getting sued left and right constantly. I think it's in their best interest to fix it.
Probably.
And I'll tell you what, my Joy-Cons have gotten to the point where they are accelerating their speed of dying, because I was recently playing Monster Hunter in handheld mode, and it got so bad that I was not even touching it. The guy was running, and every time I tried to correct him, he'd immediately turn around and run again. I was just like, you know what, Nintendo, either replace those stupid Joy-Cons, or I don't even know. They need to do something. This is stupid. So
I agree.
Maybe that will go along with a release of the Switch Pro. Maybe they'll be like, oh, and we also took the opportunity to fix the Joy-Cons. So
they won't say that. They'll just
they probably won't, because they've already been being like,
of the Joy-Con.
It's not actually a problem. And it's like, yeah, that's why you're getting sued all the time, because it's not a problem.
Yep.
And then the second one is also unlikely, because it's kind of a rear view mirror kind of thing, but just something I decided to throw on my completely ridiculous out there list. So I can't even call this a prediction, more a hope. That they are going to do something, maybe alongside the a Switch Pro release, to address Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's terrible frame rate issues. Oh my heavens. Like, normally I really enjoy Warriors games. I really enjoyed the vanilla Hyrule Warriors.
Me too.
And I like how much more there is to Age of Calamity, but sometimes it's just downright near unplayable. Like, I enjoy playing it in 2-player mode with my wife because it's, there's not a whole lot of co-op games we can play together. So, I enjoy it until it literally becomes like basically teen level levels of frame rate. And it's getting so choppy that the game it's like a slideshow. Ugh. Okay, time to stop. We're going to play a different game now. If the Switch Pro exists, and as I hope, you start announcing some performance patches for old games, to take advantage of the new hardware, let Hyrule Warriors be one of them, please.
Yep.
So that I can play that game without it turning into a PowerPoint presentation, please and thank you.
And the original Breath of the Wild as well when you're in the forest. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, just all around, please.
All around. That'd be great. Agreed.
I'll get off my soapbox. That's the last of my out there stuff. So I'm probably not going to get my points, but hey,
I like it. I like it.
Out there.
I might not get my points either. That's all we got, guys. Let us know down in the comments below what you think about our 2021 Nintendo E3 predictions.
And tell us some of your own.
Yeah, if you didn't say anything that you want to see at E3 or that you believe will be at E3, please let us know because we want in on this conversation. We want to hear it all.
We're pretty excited.
We are diehard. We are excited. We cannot wait any longer. We want to talk about it forever. So give us everything you got, and we'll talk about it in the comments.
Thanks for watching, and let us know what you're excited about.
And don't forget to subscribe and like the video.
Yes, please.
And until next time, guys.
Keep it nerdy.